Hey guys, welcome to Battle VIP Turbo. Today we got Spooky Talisman featuring new Earthen Seal Stone from Silver Tempest using our Mimikyu VMAX from Brilliant Stars, the old VMAX that allows you to place 13 damage counter on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. For 2 colors, you get to place 13, which is a lot. With your Acerola, you actually have to play Acerola as your own supporter during your turn to be able to place 13 damage counter with this effect. If you don't play Acerola, you're only able to place up to 4 damage counters, unfortunately. So you have to keep searching for that card. If you don't play Acerola, you can't place 13. Make sure you are aware of that. So Mimikyu VMAX forces you to play that supporter, and that means we can't actually, we can't actually play Melanie or any other cards to charge up for the double turbo. We have double turbo to satisfy the attack cost, so we don't really need to worry about the attack cost for ominous numbers, but we do need to worry about the attack cost for our Earthen Seal Stone. So we want to be using Earthen Seal Stone for the basic Mimikyu, just because when you use this card, when you put it onto your bench, you get to use Dummy Doll, preventing all damage done to this Pokemon during your opponent's next turn. That means you get to basically keep it alive for 1 turn, and then evolve on your next turn to do ominous numbers right after playing Star Gravity, which is very, very important. So how do we charge up for the 3 energy attack cost? How do we attack with Star Gravity right after benching our Mimikyu? We have our Raihan and also our Sobble Inteleon engine. So we want to be keeping those cards in our hand inside the deck until some of our Pokemon gets knocked out. We want to be waiting for any one of our Pokemon to get knocked out with damage. If they get knocked out, if any one of our Pokemon gets knocked out by effects of attacks like poison or, amazing Yveltal or any other effects of attacks like damage counters as well, we cannot actually, damage counter actually works though. If they use damage counter to knock out our Pokemon as long as it's knocked out during our opponent's last turn, we get to play Raihan. But if they knock it out during Pokemon Checkup with poison or burn, we can't actually use Raihan anymore. So if we want to use Raihan, we actually have to search for it using Shady Dealings right after benching Mimikyu. So we can actually search. All we need is 4 pieces. If we have a Quick Ball in our hand, we can search for our Mimikyu V, bench it, activate the Dummy Doll ability, and also search for a Raihan. For our second piece, for our third piece, we need a Scoop Up Net just because we need to switch into the active spot. We need to switch our Mimikyu into the active to be able to attack with Star Gravity. And of course, the 4th piece is our Earthen Seal Stone, which we need to be able to use this V-Star power. So Star Gravity is 3 energy attack cost, and Raihan allows us to search for the double turbo. So all we need is 4 pieces, and we can actually search for the remaining 2 or 3 pieces with our Shady Dealings. So if you can evolve your first Drizzile with your Level Ball, make sure you do that, because you can actually evolve with your Incense using your second Shady Dealings. The stage 2 Shady allows you to search for 2 trainer cards, and that means you get to search for a Raihan and a Quick Ball, or Raihan and a Scoop Up Net, and all you need is another extra search plus that 1 extra piece in your hand. If you have a double turbo, it's actually considered 1 piece though. You need just any 4 pieces of the 5. Raihan double turbo, Scoop Up Net, Earthen Seal Stone, and Quick Ball, or even Fog Crystal, Mimikyu V, the direct copy of Mimikyu V in your hand. But you have to make sure that you actually play the Fog Crystal for the Psychic Energy though. You have to discard your Psychic Energy to be able to play Raihan. So if you don't have a, if you don't have a basic energy in your discard pile, you can't play Raihan. If you don't have any one of your Pokemon knocked out during your opponent's last turn, you cannot play Raihan. So you have to be very careful with this card. If you can't play Raihan at all during your game, throughout the entire game, you have Energy Switch to fall back on to be able, basically switch that energy from any one of your bench Pokemon. Obviously, don't attach it to your active because your active is going to get knocked out. You actually have to attach it to one of your Pokemon, for example, a Miltank on the bench or Alakazam on the bench. We'll get to that later. This Radiant Pokemon is going to help us. The ability is going to help us a lot. So if you attach to Alakazam, for example, you can bench your Mimikyu on the next turn and then play Shady Dealings for a Energy Switch, and then search for a double turbo with your possibly Marnie or even Acerola, because we can't actually search for a double turbo, which is gonna be a bit more difficult if you need to play Energy Switch. So if you can play Raihan, that would be ideal, because that actually allows you to search for a double turbo, which is a lot more difficult to search for because we have no other way but Raihan to get this into our hand. If we have it already in our hand, we can actually search other cards with our Shady Dealings, and that would actually give us our first Star Gravity while having Dummy Doll activated, preventing all damage done to Mimikyu V on the next turn. And that means we have full HP. As the minute we evolve, we have full HP, and we actually get to play ominous numbers right after doing Star Gravity with full HP. And that means we may be able to play ominous number twice with a single VMAX using this card. And if they knock out our VMAX, if they knock out our first one, obviously we have to play something else because we don't want to be playing 2 Mimikyu VMAX in any game. We want to be playing only one. Unless we are playing a one price deck, we want to obviously switch our strategy and, you know, scrap the tool card. We don't want to be focusing on this Earthen Seal Stone anymore if they do a one price combo. If they are playing a full one price deck, we want to be using nothing but Ominous Number with our Acerola engine and also that one Pal Pad to shove back our supporter card so that we get to play Ominous Number more times, placing 13 damage counter at a time plus the quick shoot. We get to place a lot of damage counters over and over until we kill as many one price cards and draw as many prizes per turn as we can with damage counters. So if they play V cards, V Star and V Maxes, we have to wait for them to evolve before we pull out the surprise Raihan combo to do Star Gravity at the very last second, and then on the next turn we get to collect one V knockout with our Ominous Number, and then on the next turn if we can do a second Ominous Number, that would be the done deal. We can actually kill 3 V cards with 2 strikes since we have Alakazam to place extra damage counters on, to swap damage counters onto a V. So Painful Spoons allows you to move up to 2 damage counter from any one of your opponent's Pokemon to another of their Pokemon, and that means you can actually move, for example, from a Crobat onto a V Star on their bench or even into the active, and then play Quick Shoot for the extra 2 damage counters. That if you have 4 damage counters, 4 extra damage counters onto their target V cards, you can actually kill 3 V Pokemons with only 2 Ominous Numbers, 26 damage counters with this attack. If you do it twice, you got 26 damage counters in the game, and that means all you need is 4 more damage counters to do 300 damage, killing off 3 V Pokemons for 6 price draw in 2 turns right after playing a Star Gravity, because obviously Star Gravity actually reduces all of your opponent's V Pokemons until they have 100 HP remaining. You have to wait until they evolve though. If they have non-evolution cards like Crobat or Lumineon on the bench, you actually get to target those cards and move from other Pokemons into those cards to kill those V Pokemons for extra prizes. We want to be targeting V Pokemons here. We also have Serena to play our Jynx and also Mimikyu as well. We are playing also this card, which actually allows us to target any Pokemon that they have. If they play a new V card, for example, a new VMAX that have full HP right after we did Star Gravity, we can actually play 𝑑𝑻𝑑𝑚𝑪𝑮𝑶 to do 1 billion damage right after doing our Star Gravity. Having so many damage counters on our opponent's Pokemon in the field, we actually get to do a one-hit knockout with this attack right after doing that V-Star power. So we actually have to be very careful with this card though, just because if we knock out any of their Pokemon before using 𝑑𝑻𝑑𝑚𝑪𝑮𝑶, we would essentially have a lot less damage with this attack. We can't actually do a knockout with this Pokemon anymore. We have to rely on Jynx instead. Jynx is a lot better if you ask me, just because you can actually do a Serena to pull out any Pokemon that have damage counters on them and basically knock them out with Psychic Assault for only 2 energies. You just need 1 double turbo. You don't need a Raihan. For Mimikyu, you need a Psychic and a colorless. For Jynx, you just need 2 colorless. So this is a lot better, but just to make this deck a lot more interesting, we have double Mimikyu for this deck. Not just the Mimikyu V for Dummy Doll, but also the VMAX and the one from Lost Origin with 𝑑𝑻𝑪𝑮𝑶, which is a lot more interesting and a lot more fun. We have also our Miltank to help us stall. Miracle Ball helps us to prevent all damage done to these Pokemon by Pokemon Vs, and that means they're gonna have to think of some way to get past Miltank early game, or even our Jynx. If we don't have Miltank inside the deck, if we have to search for a Heavy Ball, we do have Heavy Ball to get it out from the prize if Miltanks get stuck there. We have also our Jynx to fall back on though if we don't get our Miltank early game. If they knock out our Jynx without drawing a prize, we get to play Raihan on the next turn while also denying them from drawing a prize with our Selfish Lips ability, which is super cool because if this Pokemon gets knocked out by your opponent's V Pokemon, they are not able to draw any prize cards, which is super. It gives you that extra 1 turn to do Star Gravity, and it gives you, it gives you that leg up in the competition. We also have our Level Ball to get our Drizzile into the game, to evolve to search for an extra trainer cards into our hand. We have our 4 VIP Pass, 4 Quick Ball, and 1 Capture to get our basic Pokemons to set up fast and have a good bench to be able to play our Shady Dealings as well easily. We have also our Scoop Up Net to help us not just switch into our Mimikyu into the active, but also recycle our Shady Dealings ability multiple times. We can even use Quick Shoot twice in a row by using our Scoop Up Net. We are also playing our 3 copy of Incense to get our Inteleon /VMAX. And also we have 1 PokéStop to get our item cards from the top deck. We can even get our tool card with our PokéStop Fortunately, this card is not yet considered a tool card. Post-rotation though, you have to remember that Earthen Sealstone is no longer considered an item, it's going to be a tool card, and that means PokéStop doesn't work for tools anymore, so you're going to have to be a lot more careful with your PokéStop post-rotation. We also have one Gapejaw Bog to place extra damage control on their Pokemon, and then transfer them onto the V with our Painful Spoons later on. So Gapejaw Bog is actually really, really interesting with your Mimikyu VMAX, and we also have one Horror to place extra damage counters. So that's all for the deck list. Let's go for some gameplay and see how well this deck works. Okay, let's go for our first game versus Lugia V-Star. We got our Mimikyu VMAX using Earthen Sealstone, which is super cool, and we're gonna use it with the basic Mimikyu, having Dummy Doll on the same turn, and then evolving to do ominous numbers right after. I think that is the main value point for this deck, and we're gonna pull it off for every game that we do. As long as if we get our basic energy fast, we have that one Fog Crystal, and that means we can actually do Shady to get our basic energy. Only one Fog Crystal though, just because we need a lot more balls to get our basics. I've thought about playing Meowstic for my Mimikyu VMAX, but eventually decided against it just because you can't search for your tool card, you can't search for anything else. You could play Irida, but I prefer playing nothing but, you know, solid Acerola and maybe one Serena, one Marnie. I don't think Irida is gonna help much, because it only helps you get one extra trainer in addition to your tool card. I would rather do a Marnie, because Marnie could get you your PokéStop, Marnie could get you your basic Pokemon, your double turbo, it could get you a lot more. I don't think Irida is gonna do anything. We actually need to play Raihan anyway, so we don't really have much room for supporters. So Lugia V-Star plays Radiant Charizard. They're doing amazing Yveltal as well, but they really want to be playing. They really want to be attacking fast. So I think they should be attacking with the Archeops first to kill off the Miltank if we have it in the active spot. So finish off the Miltank with one Archeops, and then collect extra knockouts with the Lugia V-Star, do extra damage with that Pokemon until they get enough prizes, and eventually maybe kill off the VMAX with an amazing Yveltal or Radiant Charizard for extra prizes. So if we bench the Mimikyu, if we bench the second one, if we want to use a second VMAX, we actually have the luxury to play Ominous Number another time, just because they actually allow, you know, the game gives us one extra turn to evolve, because your opponent can't do any damage to your Mimikyu after you put it into the bench. The moment you put it from your hand onto the bench, you activate Dummy Doll, and that means your opponent cannot do any damage to that Pokemon on their next turn, and that means you have one free turn to basically evolve your Mimikyu while having full HP on your VMAX. And we're trying to make full use of that using our tool card, but we can actually use that for our second VMAX as well to do another ominous number for the final, to finish off the game, essentially. So here comes the Incense, and they're gonna do the discard. They're gonna play the V-Star power right now and possibly do the shuffle. So Aqua return to shuffle back. Oh, okay, no Archeops yet. Big surprise, no Archeops yet. I was kind of preparing to do a Raihan already. So we need 4 pieces, remember that. We only have 1 piece right now, unfortunately. So they did a Judge, which is kind of the same thing as a Marnie, and that means we don't actually get to keep our hand on the last turn. Snorlax is going to help us a lot for this game, for most games as well. So Snorlax actually helps us prepare for the Raihan, essentially, because we need 4 pieces, as I keep saying. We need Quick Ball, Raihan, Scoop Up Net, and also the tool card or the double turbo. We need any 4 of those 5 pieces. If we get like double turbo, if we don't get a Quick Ball though, we need the Quick Ball. That's like the first priority. If we don't get a Quick Ball, we're done. If we don't get all 4 pieces, we're done, right? Any of the 4, including the Quick Ball. Quick Ball is essential, but the other 3, it can be any other cards. Any 3 in combination of the 5 cards, inclusive of Quick Ball. But obviously, we have other ways of searching for Mimikyu. We have our Fog Crystal, VIP Pass, you don't really want to be playing that for Mimikyu unless if you know your opponent is playing a full one price deck. Like a Lunatone Zoroark, you can play your VIP Pass. It's quite difficult to win against Lunatone though. Full disclaimer, just because we are placing only 13 damage counter with our Mimikyu VMAX, and they could play Scoop Up Net to erase all the damage counter. We have no heal cards for this deck. We're not playing any Cheryl. We're not playing any heal, healing combos. We can actually deny them from doing any damage to the V card, but eventually they're gonna kill off the VMAX with only 2 strikes, and we can't actually avoid that. Mimikyu only has 300 HP as well, so if they get enough energy on their second Lunatone to kill off the second VMAX with 1 shot, if they can somehow one-hit KO the second VMAX, they can win a lot faster with Lunatone Zoroark. And 300 damage is not really a tall order for Lunatone Zoroark. If they get their Raihan, if they have Raihan in their deck, it's going to be a lot easier with Choice Bell. So watch out for Lunatone. Other than that, I think we're good against Weezing. We actually got matched up against Weezing, and we get to show it for this game as well for this video. And you'll see that we actually won against Weezing. It's not too bad. You just need to know how to counter it while you're playing. So it's all about gameplay, but sometimes inside the deck, if you have elements that are not actually built against that matchup, I don't think there's any way that you can win. So for example, if you're up against a Regigigas deck, I don't think you have any chance of winning with a Mimikyu VMAX. You know, it's just not built against that matchup. So you have to actually be really smart with the game. Just concede if you know you don't stand a chance. It's just how the game works. There's no point continuing, honestly. Like if you're playing against a Mew VMAX, if they can do their first knockout so fast, and if you know you have no Drapion in your deck, if you know your deck is, basically super slow in setup, then just fucking concede. There's no way you can win against a Mew VMAX. There's no shame in it because, obviously there's still a slight chance you could win the game because they can get a pretty bad start. If they get a really, really bad start, and if you keep damaging them while they pass the turn doing nothing, you can actually still win the game quite easily. But it's not likely though. It's really kind of difficult. I thought about Lost City, adding Lost City for this deck, but I don't think adding 1 or 2 copies is gonna help. Like Lost City against one price deck obviously is a big plus, but 1 or 2 copies really doesn't cut it. Like, I don't think it cuts it. Even if you lost one of the Regis, you kind of have to lose 2 or 3 copies to basically do enough damage to their deck. If you lost, the wrong cards as well, it's not going to do anything. For example, if you play the Lost City while losting the Regieleki, and then they attack with something else on the next turn, you can actually place damage counters though. So you can knock out any one of their Pokemon in play. If you have the Lost City in play for 2 turns straight, which is a tall order just because they have stadium cards. Regibox decks have a lot of path to the P just because they need to counter Duraludon. They are playing a lot of their own stadiums, and that means they can quite easily displace your Lost City within a single turn. It's gonna get removed, right? You have to expect to get removed. So you can only lost 1 Pokemon per stadium. Like if you play only 1 copy of the Lost City, I don't think it cuts it. I don't think you would be that lucky to have that stadium card stay in play for more than 1 turn in any game. Like I've never played a single game where my opponent just did not play a stadium card in standard, because standard is crazy right now. We have so many consistency cards. Like decks are so powerful right now. They have gift energy, they have research, they have Regidrago for the draw support. They have so much draw support. They even have tracking shoes now. So Regigigas decks are just fucking crazy, and they can quite easily get their stadium within a single turn to displace and discard your Lost City. So if you don't play more than 1 copy, it's not going to work. If you don't play more than 2 copies, even if you get 1 prize, it's just not going to work. So might as well just don't do it at all, right? Just buff against V decks. We're trying to target V decks and trying to target, decks that are not built like 1 price power decks with full, like a lot of HP. We're not targeting those decks. We're trying to target V decks because we are playing Star Gravity with our Earthen Seal Stone to place damage counters on all of our opponent's V Pokemon until they have 100 HP remaining for each of their V Pokemons in play. and that is the main value point for this deck. We want to be focusing on that, so that's the reason we no longer have Lost City. You could think about swapping, you know, the PokéStop, and I don't really want to swap the PokéStop. PokéStop is a good, it adds a lot of value for this deck just because it helps you search for the remaining pieces. If you don't have, for example, a Quick Ball in your hand, if you have a Scoop Up Net, a Level Ball, a Raihan, you don't actually have the tool card in your hand to basically finish up the combo to do your Star Gravity with Mimikyu on the same turn. You can actually do shady dealings for Scoop Up Net, but you don't actually have the final piece, which is the tool card that you need to play your V-Star power. So in order to get that, we have our, you know, fail-safe PokéStop to dig for that tool card by discarding the top 3 cards and get any items that you find. You may even get your Scoop Up Net. If you dig for the Scoop Up Net, obviously do shady for the tool card. If you got the, you know, if you got a Quick Ball, do shady for the tool card. You know, whatever you got with your PokéStop, you can shady for something else, the other cards that you need. And the reason we're playing 2 stadium cards in this game, in this deck, in the final upgrade is because we have Horror Energy, we have Double Turbo. If they play Temple of Sinnoh, that's going to destroy our entire strategy. It's going to basically shut down our combo. We are not able to play Ominous Number, we're not able to play Star Gravity, we can't use the Double Turbo effect, and that means we can't attack that fast. We are dead because we don't even have enough energies to attack. We need to attach 1 Double Turbo and 1 Psychic just to use Ominous Number, another Psychic Energy just to use Star Gravity, which is a lot. And I don't think we have that many turns to pull that off. Especially not with the Raihan. We want to be playing Raihan to do Star Gravity with Dummy Doll. I keep saying that, but you know, that's the main priority for this deck. And if they play Temple of Sinnoh, it would be impossible because Double Turbo is shut down. And without Double Turbo, we can't use our, you know, our gravity combo. So we want just to make sure we don't get blocked by Temple of Sinnoh, we have our 2 stadium cards to help us play our Double Turbo. And here comes Lugia V-Star. They got Charizard on the bench as well, ready to go. They got Lumineon, ready to shuffle those cards back into the deck. So if they shuffle back the special energies, it's actually a very good combo. Lumineon not only helps them to search for a supporter card, it also helps them shuffle back the special energies while doing damage, right? So shuffle back means you get to recycle those energies and attach them to new Pokemons to attack with another amazing rare or another V-Star or another Archeops or anything. You can attack with another Pokemon with that 3 energies on Lumineon. So right now they have no cards in their hand, and unfortunately we're not able to play Acerola. So Acerola is very, very annoying. If your opponent has no cards in your hand, you actually are not allowed to play it. You can't play Acerola unless your opponent has at least 1 card in their hand, because it specifically says, you know, draw a number of cards equal to the number of trainer cards in your opponent's hand, and your opponent has to first reveal their hand. If they have no hand to reveal, you cannot play Acerola. So we're forced to play Max Shadow right here just to do enough damage to get us through. If we do 100 damage right now, I'm pretty sure we can collect the knockout on the V-Star later on. So we just need to kill 2 of the V-Stars and the Lumineon to win the game. We should be targeting the Lumineon as fast as possible because Lumineon has... We already played our Star Gravity, so we should be killing off the Lumineon because it can quite easily shuffle itself back and remove all damage counters from it. If they play Aqua Return, we would lose all of those damage counters. So as fast as you can, you need to be killing off the Lumineon, because that's free prizes right there. Especially right after placing that much damage counters. We don't want to be working so hard to play our V-Star power for nothing. Again, we're not able to play Acerola because they just played the card from the last turn. It was a Summoning Horn, Echoing Horn, my bad. Okay, we're gonna get Energy Switch and maybe a Marnie? I don't know what to get, honestly. We should be thinking about Jynx right now. If we get our Jynx, we can do Serena. I'm not sure if we should be evolving right now. I feel like we should be saving Inteleon for later. Because we have no more Scoop Up Nets. No more nets. And apparently I searched for a Level Ball to help us get an extra card on the next turn. I feel like we should have played a Marnie, but if we do a Marnie though, they would get a lot of cards in their hand and they could do a boss, right? If they do a boss, we're done for. If we do Energy Switch right now, we still can't attack though. Unfortunately, we're still not able to attack. Oh wait, we have 1 energy on Miltank. Okay, so we can actually attack. We can knock out the Lugia with Miltank this turn thanks to Energy Switch. And they're forced to play Charizard to knock out the Miltank. If they don't get past the Miltank, we can eventually kill the Charizard with our Miltank and also Alakazam. So they better watch out for our Miltank. I don't think they have that many energies in their deck. So the only way to, the only counter against Miltank that they have is Radiant Charizard and Archeops. They need to search their deck for another 2 energies, a double turbo and a powerful, to attack with Archeops to knock out our Miltank. If they can't actually do it, if they're planning on doing a boss this turn, they have to attach extra energies on to the Archeops to deal with the Miltank. Miltank is not doing enough damage to kill off the Charizard though, but Charizard can't actually attack on the next turn. They need to switch and retreat. And I don't think they can do it that easily with only 2 cards in their hand. So they can actually draw prizes though. If they kill the Mimikyu VMAX with a boss, they can draw 3 prizes, and that could mean an easy switch retreat to deal with the Miltank right after killing off the VMAX. So no boss, thank God. So now we got our first ominous numbers. Let's play Acerola right now. We have no choice but to do that because they finally have cards in their hand for us to do our ominous number for 13 damage counters. It's really annoying that we couldn't pull it off until now. We could have done it a lot earlier if they have at least 1 card in their hand. Like, what the fuck, right? How are they having no cards in their hand? Kind of makes sense though, because Lugia V-Star doesn't need anything. It doesn't need anything else. If you have your Archeops in play, once you have your bench set up, once you have everything, all of your abilities in play, you don't really need to do anything else. You don't need any cards in your hand. Obviously, you need to play Boss Arena to give you extra advantage, to give you a leg up in the competition, but it's better just to, sometimes it's better just to make the deck a lot more consistent by focusing on the main combo. Okay, we're gonna Shady for possibly a Quick Ball. Wait, we need to get our Acerola, right? We need to play Acerola right now. Have we played it already? I don't think we played it yet. Oh my god, what am I doing? Okay, we played it. My bad. We already played Acerola, and we should have gotten our Serena. So this is the part where I made a huge mistake. It doesn't really matter though, because they can't actually attack on the next turn. They can't attack. Yeah, they actually can't attack with Charizard on the next turn, and that means they're gonna have to either retreat into the Lumineon or the Lugia. And we're gonna kill the Lumineon right now just in case they do Aqua Return. And knocking out the Lumineon means they have to attack with Lugia. If they do, we have our Jynx to finish off the game by collecting the final 2 prize with a V-Star knockout. So they have nothing, they have no choice but to do either a Switch Retreat to attack with Charizard again, or to attack with the Lugia. They cannot actually afford to attack with Lugia though. The only option they have to survive the game, I guess, is to search their deck for energies, with Archeops and attack with either Charizard or Archeops. That's their only option. It doesn't seem like they have enough energies left because they already used up 4 energies for the first V-Star. So that's 4 special energy discarded. They discarded a couple special energies with the research early game as well. So I'm not sure if they have enough energies inside the deck left. If we kill off the Lumineon right now, we could actually deny them from using the ability to recycle Lumineon's energy. Okay, we're gonna place 10 on Lumineon and 3 on Lugia. So we got a little bit flustered because they're timing us. And we accidentally placed 11 damage counters on Lumineon when we only needed 10. So, sorry about that. But all we need is a Serena right now. We could have done Serena. We could have just kept the level ball in our hand and do a Serena on the next turn. But we didn't do that. I don't know why. Let's hope they play a Marnie right now. Because if they do a Marnie, we could quite easily get another Drizzile with a level ball to search for the Serena. Or even the direct copy. So they just conceded because apparently they have no energies left. No more special energies means they can't attack. Not even with Lugia, because Lugia doesn't even have enough energies to attack. Charizard is not able to attack without a switch retreat, because Combustion Blast doesn't allow you to use it a second time. It has a cooldown. Okay, let's go for the next one. Right now we're up against a 1-price deck, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, it's Wheezing now. It's a Wheezing Galarian Slowking. Sorry, my bad. Oopsie. It's a Wheezing. That was my previous deck. So Wheezing with Gengar. They have Gengar VMAX for a 1-hit knockout. Doing, what's it called again? GMAX Swallow Up for a billion damage with single story energy and also a Choice Belt, killing off a V-Star with just Choice Belt though. You don't even need single strike energy. So I don't think they're playing any Houndoom or single strike energies. They're playing Dark Patch Hiding with Gengar to target V-Stars. If they are playing a Dark type, we have to be careful because we're playing Mimikyu VMAX, which is a Psychic Ghost. My bad, it's a Fairy Ghost. It's actually a Ghost type for this card. And that means it's weak towards Darkness. And Gengar is going to be able to kill it with 1 hit if they do GMAX Swallow Up. That's the only attack they can use though against Mimikyu. And they can't actually use it a second time. They have to retreat and switch, or it has a cooldown as well, same as Charizard. It has a cooldown and they have to attack with a second copy or something else on the next turn right after doing the knockout. So the first attack, Panic Fear, is not going to do enough damage because we are playing only 1 V card at a time. We only have 1 Mimikyu in play, 1 V Pokemon in play, and that means they're only able to do 120 damage with an attack. So they need 3 Darkness Energy to be able to kill our Mimikyu. That means we have enough time to basically get our system running, to get our Acerola, to do enough damage counters, to place enough damage counters with our Ominous Number before they're able to pull off Gengar's GMAX Swallow Up. So it's not looking too bad because Gengar is a heavy attacker. They got Dark Patch though. So we shouldn't really be too complacent. We shouldn't really be too comfortable. They have Training Court. They gave us a Training Court. But it doesn't seem like we could do anything but Acerola right now. We got 1 Psychic already attached to Mimikyu. We just need a double turbo. My bad. We just need 1 more Psychic Energy to play our Ominous Numbers. I feel like we should keep our Acerola for the next turn. So this is the scary thing of playing Inteleon decks. You could get stuck with nothing. If you play your Acerola way too many times, you won't have enough to spare to play your Ominous Number. Because we only have 1 Pal Pad to shuffle back those cards, and if we get it priced as well, it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna give a lot of trouble to us, right? We don't want to be playing it unnecessarily just to draw 2 or 3 cards. We want to be using it only when we are attacking with Mimikyu. Sometimes you don't have a choice though. It's better just to play it. So we have no energy in our hand. We have a Drizzile. We got an Incense. So that means we can get Scoop Up Net. But we can't actually attack though. Because we don't have enough energies, unfortunately. Oh my bad, I forgot that Weezing is locking our ability. Sorry about that. So we have no ability, Dummy Doll doesn't work, Shady Dealings doesn't work, Miracle Body doesn't work. Obviously they are poisoning our Pokemon, they're not playing a V card in the active, so Miracle Body doesn't work anyways. We have no Painful Spoons as well in our belt. So there's no way we can use our abilities until we deal with the Weezing. So let's play Acerola right now, and we're gonna kill off the Weezing with our Psychic Energy. Let's just play our double turbo actually, because we are placing damage counters, and I don't think we need to worry about the damage reduction. So let's do ominous numbers all the way until we get our tool card to play the Star Gravity. So they need one more energy on the Gengar. If they get the Dark Patch, we would actually have to somehow find another way to deal with the Gengar. We have Raihan. I feel like we have enough pieces for the next turn though. We have Inteleon, we got Raihan, we got Double Turbo. Let's just save our energies. Let's save the Double Turbo for the next turn. Right, just in case they knock out our VMAX. Which I'm pretty sure they're going to do right now. They're probably going to kill off our VMAX on the next turn with the Dark Patch. That's going to mean we need to search for our Scoop Up Net. With our Shady, with our Inteleon, we can search for 2 cards. So Scoop Up Net, Quick Ball, and then Raihan, Double Turbo, search for Earthen Seal Stone to place Star Gravity onto the Gengar VMAX. And that means we actually get to play the V-Star power while having full HP while preventing damage on the next turn with the basic. And they got, we got an extra whole turn to play Ominous Number to finish off the Gengar. And also the Crobat. We can even deal with the Crobat, right? Let's not forget about Crobat because, any V cards they have in play is up for grabs. And if we can kill the Crobat with the VMAX, we got the win because we have 5 prize remaining. We just knocked out the Weezing. We're gonna Shady right now. So, oh my goodness, they did not kill our VMAX. Surprise, surprise. Let's make full use of the opportunity that we have and play our V-Star power while we can. It's probably gonna die on the next turn. Mimikyu's gonna just fucking die, but I don't really care. All we need is 1 Star Gravity in the game, and then we can play Alakazam Quick Shoot for the remaining damage counters. We should be benching like a Jynx or something, right? Bad thing is that we have no more Acerola though. So if they do a boss on a Jynx, they're not drawing any prize cards though for Jynx. That's a good thing. So if they got threatened by Jynx, they may do a boss on it, and that means they are not drawing any prize for 1 turn. They are wasting their boss. They are wasting 1 turn, not drawing any prize cards, while allowing us to do another ominous number. I don't think they have the luxury to keep our Mimikyu VMAX alive. They have no choice but to kill off our VMAX right now. Don't tell me they have no energies again. If they don't get enough energies to attack this turn, I'm gonna flip. Like, that's pretty late. No Dark Patch, are you serious? No. They did not attack. No knockout. 0 knockout on that turn. Mimikyu is alive, and I have no idea what to do right now. We got so much Okay, we're gonna transfer from the Mew onto the Crobat. We have to target a Crobat. I think we placed the wrong damage counters. We did a quick shoot on the Gengar. They're not intending to attack with Crobat. They want to be attacking with Gengar. So I feel like we should be targeting the Crobat on the bench with damage counters. And then play maybe a Jynx to kill off the Gengar VMAX in the active on the next turn. So we got a Heavy Ball for Jynx. And we're just going to bench it and attach the double turbo. We're going to do Painful Spoons first to transfer onto the Crobat. So we just need 8 more damage counters to finish off Crobat V. We're going to place 4 damage counter right now on the Crobat, and that means we just need 4 more on the next turn. We got Painful Spoons for 2 from the Gengar because we got Jynx. I don't think Jynx need that much damage counter on the active. We just need 18 damage counter. It's more than enough actually. If we have 18 damage counter on the Gengar, we're doing 170 damage with Jynx just because of the double turbo. We got 10 base damage plus, so we're doing 160 plus 10. And that's more than enough to kill out the VMAX. We got like 350 damage in the game. They don't have Abomasnow, so they can't actually avoid the knockout with Jynx. So if we transfer from the Gengar onto the Crobat and play Quick Shoot, we got 2 prize from the Crobat knockout, and they just kill off the Mimikyu because they have no choice though. We could actually play our Pal Pad and Acerola to win the game if they do a boss on a Jynx, but I don't think we have enough. We need to play double Shady to not just get the Pal Pad but also the Acerola back. If we don't get back the Acerola, we can't play Ominous Number a second time. So thank God they actually killed off the VMAX, because now we actually got 3 extra prizes by playing Psychic Assault for the win. So Psychic Assault is doing 10 more damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon, and Jynx is gonna do a VMAX knockout this turn. All thanks to Star Gravity. Jynx is a very, very good card right now because you have Selfish Lips preventing them from drawing any prize card if they kill off your Jynx with a V Pokemon. It also has a really, really good attack, same as Farfetch from Brilliant Stars. Farfetch League Lash doing 10 more damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon plus 10 base. Farfetch is actually doing 20 base though. Basculin Rapid Strike is doing 30 base for 1 water and 1 colorless. Farfetch has the same attack cost as Jynx, but without the ability, and that's probably the reason why it has 10 less base damage. Anyways, let's go for the next one. And right now we are matched up against a weakness box. They got Suicune, Raikou, and Entei, and they are actually playing a very, very fun deck. They got all the types. They got no dark type though, surprisingly. They got Zapdos as well. I'm not sure if they're playing Ditto V, but they have all the types, and they're trying to hit for the weakness. For a 1-hit knockout, only 2 energies, so they can play Raihan and do turbo attacks. They can even do Melanie, really. Melanie for the colorless cost, and then attach Aurora Energy for 1 billion damage. So Blizzard Rondo, Flare Rondo, I forgot Entei's attack, but Lightning Rondo, Blizzard Rondo, and Burning Rondo actually does 20 more damage for each Pokemon on each player's bench. So for each bench Pokemon in play, you get to do 20 more plus 20 base. So if you have, like, for example, 7 bench Pokemon in play, you got 140 damage, 160 damage in the game against the weakness. If you hit the weakness against Palkia V-Star, for example, if you're doing, Raikou V, you get to do 360 damage to kill off a Palkia V-Star with 1 hit. And you just need 6 Pokemons on the bench though. If you have 1 Pokemon on your opponent's bench, you just need 5. If you can bench all 5 Pokemons, if your opponent doesn't play Collapse Stadium, you just need 6 Pokemons on both players' bench in total to be able to kill off a Palkia V-Star with 1 hit, because you got 120 damage in the game. 140 damage is all you need to kill off a Palkia, plus 20 base. And obviously they're gonna have bench Pokemons on their own. They got Greninja, Sobble, so they probably need at least 2 Pokemons on their bench. And against Kyurem, they got Zamazenta V to hit for the weakness. So Kyurem V is a Ice type, and Ice type is weak towards Metal. And they got Zamazenta V, which is actually a little bit more heavy though. So they need double turbo for Zamazenta. Zamazenta requires not just a Metal, but also 2 colorless. And that means Raihan would not be enough. They need Raihan, Energy Switch, or something else. They need Raihan with possibly a double turbo. If they do Raihan though, they're gonna need Metal Energies, right? If they play Metal Energies, they can do Metal Saucer. I would recommend playing maybe Raihan for Metal Energy and then Aurora. Right? Nothing but Metal Energy with Aurora, because I think Zamazenta has a high value here. If you do Aurora, you can satisfy other attack costs for the other types. If you do double turbo as well, you can satisfy the attack cost for Zamazenta. So Zamazenta kind of forces the deck to play Metal Energies. We're gonna do Scoop Up Net and attack with Miltank right now, kind of forcing them to get past our Miracle Body. So we're only able to use our V-Star power after they knock out our Miltank, or if they do a boss and kill our Sobble. We don't actually have a Manaphy right now. I didn't realize that Greninja could attack that fast. I don't think they can do it this turn though. So we got Quick Ball to get our Manaphy on the next turn. We have to get Manaphy because they got Greninja to do Moonlight Shuriken, hitting 2 Pokemons, doing a bench snipe for 90 damage, and that's actually enough to kill off Drizzile with possibly another Sobble. They got to deal with the Miltank at some point though, right? And they even have Inteleon. So they're going to do Inteleon to actually kill off the Miltank. Spoiler alert, they actually have... they're going to do Aqua Bullet for 120 damage. They actually do have the Raihan with the Water Energy. So we have Manaphy on the next turn. We should be fine. Okay, Miltank is unfortunately not doing anything though, because we're hitting V Pokemons and we are placing damage counter on V anyways. So later on, Mimikyu is gonna use the V-Star power to basically do some damage counters on the V, and that means whatever damage that we have right now on the Raikou, Suicune, Entei would actually mean nothing. It doesn't actually mean anything. We have 10 more damage on the Raikou though, because now it has 90 HP remaining. So it would be better to target one price if you can. You're better off attacking one price Pokemons early game if you can do it though. But we only have Serena, we have no escape ropes, we have no boss. I don't think we can actually choose what Pokemon to hit. So Miltank is basically a stall. We're waiting for our opponent to evolve their V-Star and VMAXs with Miltank. If they don't evolve, if they can't evolve, if they are only playing basic V Pokemons in their deck, we just need to play Miltank until they knock out any one of our Pokemon, until they discard our... No, we can actually retreat to discard the energy as well. So we don't really need to bother about the energy retreat cost. If we have to discard 2 energy, it's just better to do it because we got a second copy of Raihan to play for our Miltank, or even a Mimikyu to attack with our, one price Mimikyu to do 𝑑𝑻𝑪𝑮𝒊 for a knockout. We can do Raihan for Miltank even to do another, to attack with the route again later on if we want. So we don't really need to worry about discarding the energy to retreat. Sometimes we have no choice because we want to be doing our Raihan as early as possible. So here comes the combo. They did not do a Marnie, and we finally get to pull it off. We got Quick Ball, Double Turbo, and a Drizzile, and now we're gonna search for Incense to get Inteleon, the Stage 2 one, for a double search, because we need 4 pieces and we actually only have 3 pieces. But all thanks to the Incense, all thanks to the Shady, we get to search for the Stage 2 Inteleon to stack the ability even more times. So now we got more searches, and we actually did get a Scoop Up Net instead of the tool card, because that actually allows us to play Raihan for something else. We got Raihan to search for something else, and we even get to play Shady another time. One more time by scooping up the active, which we actually need to do though. So we actually have to get either Raihan with the tool card or Raihan with the Scoop Up Net right now, because that actually means we have 4 of the 5 pieces that we need. And Raihan is going to give us the final remaining piece for us to do our main intended combo, the power combo that we want to be pulling off with Mimikyu. The V star power using dummy doll while attacking with star gravity. And that secures at least one ominous number in the game. Because if they kill the Mimikyu, if they have path to the peak though, if they kill Mimikyu before we get to evolve, that means we can't play ominous number. We are actually forced to play 𝑺𝒊𝒍𝒗𝒆𝒓 or Psychic Assault to collect the prizes, to collect, the knockout against those Pokemon after playing our Star Gravity. It's better to do your ominous number if you can, after playing your V-Star power. In some games, you may not be lucky enough to pull it off, because if they do path to the peak, they can get past your ability. If they kill your Mimikyu before you get to evolve and use the attack, you actually have to play a second copy. I feel like it's better to play a second copy because ominous number is way better than relying on your Jynx to attack. But you can actually think about playing your getting your stadium cards first before playing your final copy, because you actually have to count the prizes. If you are careful with the prize, you should be playing your Jynx first to deny them from drawing any prize cards, and then that actually gives you the first V knockout while collecting enough damage counters with your quick shoot and also painful spoons, moving enough damage counters to set up for your ominous number to collect the final 4 prizes by doing an ominous number. So prepare enough damage counters on their bench Pokemon, on their V Pokemons in play until all you need is 13 damage counters, and that actually is enough for you. That actually allows you to play your Mimikyu at the right time and evolve at the right time to play Acerola to do ominous number for the win. So it's all about calculation, right? We have to do everything at the right time. If we don't do it at exactly the right time, we can't actually win the game, because we're not making full use of Mimikyu, we're not making full use of the 13 damage counters, we're not making full use of Jynx's ability. So Jynx is going to help us a lot. We have a lot of 1 price cards in this deck, so we want to be playing around with that, right? We want to be using all of those cards to their full advantage and not just playing them willy-nilly. Playing them however we like. We can't actually do that. We have to be very, very precise. Okay, we got to do it. No path to the peak. We got to play ominous number for 13 damage counter while also evolving our Inteleon. We get to search for not just the evolution, not just the quick shoot, we also get to search for quick ball to get our painful spoons running. So we got 4 extra damage counters this turn, 4 extra damage counters onto the targeted Vs, because we actually hit 4 Vs with our star gravity on the last turn, and that means we just need to target 3 of the Vs. So we can transfer from Entei, which is the one that we want, which is the one that we are trying not to kill. We're trying to kill the other V Pokemon. So we are trying to transfer from Entei onto the target Vs with our painful spoons while also doing quick shoot to hit for extra 2 damage counters on the targets. And that means we just need 4 more damage counter on the next turn with another ominous number if they don't play Moltres. So if they play Moltres, it's going to be pretty bad. So they actually don't have that, which is a big surprise. If they do play a Moltres, we got our Jynx to basically kill off. They have to kill Mimikyu with the Moltres, right? They can't actually attack with the Inteleon because it's not doing a one-hit knockout. So if they attack with the Moltres, we got Jynx to basically... Well, Moltres have zero damage counters though. So Jynx can't actually knock out the Moltres, my bad. So Jynx is not able to do a knockout on the next turn unless if we play a Serena. And for this game, we don't actually have a Serena though. So if we play Mimikyu, we could have done a knockout on the Moltres while maybe collecting enough damage counters to knock out the Raikou. So we're gonna do ominous number to kill off the Suicune. Okay, we're gonna kill the Raikou, my bad. We're gonna kill the Raikou and place damage counters on the Suicune up to maybe 6. I'm not too sure right now. 4. Okay, we have 5 extra damage counter on the Suicune. And that means we just need 5 more on the next turn. It's pretty weird though. We should have... Oh, okay. We place only 4 damage counters. So, if we do a Mimikyu with the Raihan, we can retreat with the Jynx. Do we have a double turbo on a Jynx? Is that a double turbo? Yep, that's a double turbo. So we can actually retreat with the Jynx and bench the Mimikyu with the level ball, play a Raihan to attack, to kill off the Moltres if they have a Moltres. But they're trying to kill off our Shady. They're trying to draw extra prizes with Greninja right now. I don't think they can win anymore. Because on the next turn, we already won with another ominous number. If they kill our Mimikyu with a Moltres though, hypothetically, we could actually retreat with the Jynx. And then do Mimikyu with our... Do 𝑑𝑚𝑪𝑮𝒊𝒅 using Mimikyu with our Raihan. If they don't do a Marnie at the same time. Obviously. If they do a Marnie, we got our Shady as well. We got 1 Sobble on the bench to get the Raihan or the level ball. And then after that, we got... we just need... 1 more damage counter to kill off the Suicune. Because we have essentially 4 more damage counters in the game. So we could actually win on this turn already. But we didn't. We made a huge mistake. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. We could win this turn, but we didn't. Oh, we don't have the Inteleon though. We don't have the Quick Shoot anymore. So... Well, we can. We can actually do it. We just need 3 damage counter on the Suicune. And we got the Painful Spoon. So we just need 3. That means we got 13 to place on the Zamazenta and also the Suicune to kill both V cards for the 4 remaining prizes. And that actually wins us the game if we play Acerola right now. But we got greedy and we played Raihan. We can't play anything but Acerola, so you have to be very careful with this game. If you want to do ominous number, make sure you play Acerola first thing before you do anything else. Play Acerola first. If you evolve after playing Acerola, you still get the boost. You still get the damage counter boost because it doesn't matter when you evolve. It doesn't matter, if you played it after. You actually have to. It doesn't really matter. All you need to do is play it during your turn. Ominous number doesn't actually require you to evolve your Mimikyu VMAX first. You just need to have it, you just need to have your Acerola played during your turn. So we only have 4 damage counters right now. We forgot to play Acerola, which is so stupid. I feel so stupid right now. We could have won the game on this turn. We got 13. And we just need 13. Exactly. Because that Miltank actually helped us. Miltank helped us on the last game. We got 26 damage counter in 2 turns. And that means we need... we just need 4 though, don't we? We just need 4. And in 2 turns... You can do Painful Spoons twice, or you can do Quick Shoot once and another Alakazam. So if you can pull off double ominous number in a single game, your chances of winning are so much higher. Don't screw up. Don't fuck it up. Don't make any stupid mistakes, because at that point though, your opponent would have drawn a lot of prize cards as well. So you can't really afford to give them any more prizes. Especially if you're playing a VMAX with low HP as well. Mimikyu VMAX has very low HP. Make sure you count the prizes and be very careful. So thank God they have no Moltres. They are playing basic energies though, no Aurora, which is pretty weird. Because apparently they want to be doing Moonlight Shuriken for extra knockouts against one prize, which is actually a very smart idea, because I don't think they have any other counters against one prize but Greninja. If they play Regigigas though, it doesn't really work. So Greninja doesn't do much against Regideck. It doesn't do much against decks that play Manaphy, obviously. Okay, they got one prize, not enough, thank God. We should not have benched the Mimikyu, giving them a free prize. If they got a Zigzagoon though, can you imagine? If they got a Zigzagoon, they actually could draw the final prize by killing the Jynx on the bench. So Jynx has 100 HP, they just need a Zigzagoon on that turn. So we definitely screwed up this game by not playing the Acerola on the last turn, when we could have done it much earlier. I don't know why we didn't. We got a bit greedy with the Raihan. Always play Acerola first before you do anything else if you want to use ominous number. Okay, next we're gonna go after another Lugia V Star, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, this is an Arceus deck. They're doing Arceus V Star with Charizard. And for the bonus combo, they even have Braixen from Silver Tempest with Serena. Okay, we're gonna do Level Ball for another Sobble. We got Quick Ball and Heavy Ball, so we have to check inside the deck what we have. We got Heavy Ball for our Mimikyu. We can get another Mimikyu from the prize. So we should be playing Heavy Ball for Mimikyu at the right time. If they do a Marnie, we got Quick Ball, so we should be fine. I don't think we should be doing anything else. Bad thing about Quick Ball is that you need to discard something, but the good thing, the plus side of it is you get to put it into your hand. If you're putting it into your hand, that means you get to play abilities like Dummy Doll. You get to use abilities that only activates when you put it onto your bench. If you search your deck for a Pokemon and put it directly onto the bench without putting it into your hand first, like with a Nest Ball, which is gonna get, which is gonna replace Quick Ball post rotation. We got Nest Ball for Scarlet and Violet EX, and that's gonna actually replace our basic summon for Quick Ball, which is gonna be a big deal because you can't use those abilities anymore, but you can actually bench cards much easier. Because rotation is April, and that means we got not just Quick Ball but also Nest Ball until rotation comes. Okay, we're gonna do Keep Call for extra Sobbles on the bench. Apparently we have another Sobble inside the prize. So always evolve your Drizzile while you can. If they do a boss to kill off the Drizzile though, you can't actually do Inteleon search. You can't do the double shady search anymore. But right now we get to play our Incense if they don't do a boss. We get to play Incense to search for 2 extra copies, 2 extra pieces to satisfy our Raihan combo. I'm not sure if we can do it though. Oh, we have enough though. Okay. We have enough because we have the Scoop Up Net, right? So if we search for the Scoop Up Net and a Raihan, we got the Heavy Ball to get Mimikyu, to bench the Mimikyu, and that means we just need to play Shady. We just need to evolve the bench Sobble to search for the remaining final piece to play our Raihan combo. And I think the safest thing to do right now is not to evolve. I'm not too sure really. Maybe evolving the active is better, because that way, if they do a boss, they won't. I don't think they would be doing a boss on the Sobble. They would probably do a boss on the Drizzile, right? Maybe the Sobble, because it's a lot easier to evolve Drizzile with a Level Ball than it is to evolve your Inteleon. So I'm not sure what to do right now. Should we evolve the Drizzile? Let's just pause the turn. I don't think they would be targeting the Drizzile on a bench though. I don't think they would be playing... or we could just search for one piece and put it into our hand. I don't think they have a Marnie right now. If they have a Marnie, keeping that one card in our hand could actually, you know, could actually spell disaster. Or they could just not realize the threat of us putting that one card into our hand. So Energy Switch is not going to work. Energy Switch requires a lot though. You need a lot more pieces if you want to pull off Energy Switch. Because you need double turbo in your hand. You need a lot of other things. Raihan gives you that extra surge. And that means without the extra surge, you need 5 pieces with the double turbo in your hand. If you don't have a double turbo in your hand, playing an Energy Switch, you can't actually do Star Gravity on the same turn as benching your Mimikyu. The Mimikyu V. Because we actually have 2 Mimikyus in this deck. The one prize and the VMAX. Okay, they're gonna do Trinity Nova. Their first hit. We can retreat and do a scoop. So obviously don't do a scoop first. You have to retreat first sometimes. For this game though, I think it's the same thing. Oh, no, you actually have to retreat first. Because if you retreat, I think it's the same thing though. It depends on when you bench your Mimikyu. If you bench your Mimikyu first, you get to scoop it up after evolving. And that means it naturally, automatically discards the energy. It really depends on the situation. If you have no other, Inteleon, if you have no Drizziles on the bench, you can't actually do the retreat. If you want to discard the energy on your Miltank, you're forced to do the retreat because you don't want to be scooping up Miltank because that actually wastes, you're wasting your item for the discard. You want to be discarding the energy with retreat so that you can play Scoop Up Net to recycle your shady dealings to play it more times. And that allows you to search for more cards later on to do Acerola after playing your Star Gravity. So we're gonna get 2 cards right now. We got Raihan and the Tool card. We got Mimikyu from the prize with our Heavy Ball. And we're gonna get double turbo. We have no choice but to get that. So we got all the 4 pieces. We got the Heavy Ball. We got the net. We just need a 2-piece. And we got Inteleon for the final remaining 2 pieces. So they didn't play a Marnie after we searched for a Scoop Up Net. So the Scoop Up Net actually stayed in our hand with the Heavy Ball, and that's all we need really with the Incense. So we're playing 2 PokéStop for this game, no Gapejaw Bog, which is a lot riskier. I eventually realized that PokéStop is really, really risky if you don't play that many items. We're not playing that many items, honestly. We are playing the Tool card in 2 copies, and Incense only 3 copies, Level Ball only 3 as well. So if you discard your Special Energy or your VMAX with your PokéStop, it's gonna be a huge disaster because we have no No way of shuffling back our special energy. No way of recycling double turbo. No way of recycling our VMAX, our Pokemons, or even the basic energy for that matter. With our rod, we're not playing any rods for this deck. We're not playing any way, any Clara as well. So make sure you are careful when you are doing your PokéStop. Play your incense, get your VMAX into the hand first before you do PokéStop to dig for those items, because that would be safer. It would mean you can at least play one VMAX per game. Okay, we're gonna do it right now. Unfortunately, we had to play the Star Gravity on the last turn, and that meant we couldn't hit the V-Star because they haven't evolved the Arceus yet. So we only have 11 damage counters on the Arceus, but that's fine. We're gonna do Acerola right now. We're gonna play our ominous numbers. I'm pretty sure we did it on the last turn though, right? Yep, we played Star Gravity already. So we should be killing off the Charizard, because if they evolve, they would have a lot more HP, and we're getting 2 prize anyways for a V-Star knockout, so might as well kill the basic right now. And we can deal with the Arceus later with our Mimikyu, so we shouldn't be too worried about the Arceus. We got 10 damage counters on the Charizard for the knockout, and we got 3 extra damage counters on the Arceus. So I think we should be fine. About 16 damage counter now. And Mimikyu is more than enough to kill off the V-Star in the active on the next turn. Okay, they're playing Pokemon Center Lady. Pretty weird. Almost never see that card in a regular deck. Oh my god. We get to do it a second time. We get to play Ominous Number again, but it's not actually enough to kill off the Arceus though. Might as well just play another Quick Shoot. If we can get another Inteleon, another Incense, or a Scoop Up Net, we can play Quick Shoot a second time and retreat to play our worst gift. Hitting 140 damage for the knockout. So funny thing, we actually need either a capture or a horror energy or the basic energy with the Marnie. If Marnie gets us the double turbo instead of the energies that we need, then we are not doing enough damage to knock out the Arceus, because double turbo forces us only to do 120 damage with the Mimikyu. So it's actually not enough to kill off the Arceus. 13 damage counter with Ominous Number is not enough, and we don't even have our what's it called again? Acerola in our hand. We could have done it though on the last, we could have done it right now if we want to, because we have a Drizzile on the bench. We could have evolved the other Inteleon instead of playing the Scoop Up Net. But we did PokéStop for the Scoop Up Net, and now we have, there's no turning back. We have to play the Marnie. Let's just play the Quick Ball first to dig something out. Oh, okay, we're just gonna play the Marnie. Because if you shuffle your deck too many times, sometimes it's just gonna screw everything up. Okay, we got the Horror Energy. There we go. And that's actually enough. Exactly. Just right to kill off the V-Star. Giving us 2 prize in a row. Double price draw twice in a row. So now we just need to deal with the Braixen. They're probably going to play another V card on the bench though. We got Miltank with double turbo. We got Waterfall as well. So we can do actually 100 damage on the Braixen with Waterfall. With our double turbo, because we are water type. So it's not a competitive player because they are playing weak cards like Emergency Jelly. Emergency Jelly doesn't actually work for any card. You have to be very careful. It works for cards that have very high HP, I would say. is the same as Last Transpotion, isn't it? It's Last Transpotion in tool card format. Very interesting. We actually played it for our Crocodile. So Crocodile actually does 30 damage to itself. And sometimes your opponent can actually be very tricky to, you know, they can be very tricky by playing boss on your bench Pokemon and knocking out your bench while forcing you to kill yourself. If you knock out your own Crocodile, you can't use its ability a second time. So when you evolve Crocodile from your hand, you get to activate its ability and discard a random card from your opponent's hand. And if your opponent knocks out your Crocodile in the active spot with damage from an attack, they also activate the effect of the ability, and they also have to discard another random card from their hand. So they can actually force you to knock out your own Pokemon, they can force Crocodile to kill itself with its own attack, because its attack actually does 30 damage to itself every single time. 160 damage is not bad, but every time it attacks, it has to do 30 damage to itself. And eventually it's gonna knock itself out at some point. So they can make use of that to avoid the ability. And discarding, even if it's just one card, it makes a huge difference though. Discarding one extra card from opponent's hand is gonna make a big difference. So Emergency Jelly is gonna help us force the opponent to basically knock out our Crocodile with their own attacks, rather than by forcing us to kill ourselves with Double Edge. It's a new hand disruption deck. If you guys want to check it out, it's on my channel. We played Spirit Mask with Crocodile, which is super fun because you get to discard so many cards from your opponent's hand every single turn. Watch out for Among Us though. Among Us is a new card which is kind of the counter for Crocodile. The only card that counters Crocodile and the only card that rivals Crocodile, right? Because the perfect rival, if you discard at random, that means you can't actually choose from your opponent's hand what to discard. And if you are unlucky enough to discard an Among Us, that means you have to discard all cards from your hand, because Among Us's ability actually forces you to do that. If you use an ability, effect of attack, supporter card, item, trainer, whatever, to discard Among Us from your opponent's hand, you actually have to discard all cards from your hand. So right now, we have another Lugia V-Star matchup for you to enjoy. Today's combo is Earthen Seal Stone with our Mimikyu VMAX from Billion Stars, placing 13 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like, right after playing our Star Gravity, dropping all of their V Pokemon's HP down to 100, while also blocking all damage done to our Mimikyu V with dummy dolls. So that's all for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. Have a great day, and bye for now, people! Enjoy your life!